Hello guys, welcome to our subject matter here at Special Crime Investigation Detection with Simulation of Interview and Interrogation. This is one of the part of the subject of Criminal Detection and Investigation. And we stop here at brigandage. Na-discuss na natin guys yung the different kinds of robber. What is the function of the investigator on case, and what is the different method or search method that we uses in the crime scene investigation. And also guys, we study the different kinds of sketch. No? It's very important to know the basic rule in terms of investigation. Why? Because if we don't know how to conduct a proper investigation, like I said, it's either the investigation itself will be void. No? Hindi tatanggapin ng Korte Suprema ang maling mga gawa o mga maling proseso na ginagawa natin in terms of crime scene investigation. Like I always said to you guys, to avoid any contamination of evidence that you gathered in the crime scene investigation, you need to know the basic rules. No? Nalaman na kung meron kayong subject matter ngayon guys na fundamental of investigation, that is the foundation in terms of investigation. Nandiyan po guys yung malalaman natin kung sino yung mga behind the reason of investigation, what is the process of modern era in terms of investigation. It's very important to know what's the process investigation. Like said to you, na theory of repetition, pag paulit-ulit po nating naririnig ang isang bagay, mas paulit-ulit pong pumapasok sa atin to. Yan pong ginagawa namin dun sa dating school na pinasukan ko. And also, that is very effective. Ngayon, ginagawa ko yun sa inyo guys so that you can do a better understanding in terms of our subject matter here at CDI 3. Now we proceed guys to our PowerPoint presentation. Yan po, dito po tayo sa brigandage o PD 532. Pag sinabi po nating PD 532, this law created during the time of our former President Marcos. Ferdinand E. Marcos, the father of our president right now, Bongbong Marcos. Presidential degree was created during the time of Ferdinand Marcos so that he can publish a law na makakatulong na mas mabilis sa mga mamamayang Pilipino. Because during the time of Marcos, they were considered that we have a martial law na tinatawag. So that President Marcos was created a law para hindi lang mahinto yung mga batas o para hindi lang para mahinto kundi para matigil yung mga krimen na tinatawag natin. Now we proceed guys, brigandage. Pag sinabi po natin brigandage, this is highway robbery brigandage. The seizure of any person for ransom, extortion, or other unlawful purposes, or the taking away of the property of another by means of violence, against or intimidation of person, or force upon things of other unlawful means, committed by any person or any Philippine highway. Guys, kapag sinabi natin brigandage, this is a robbery that committed in Philippine highway. Meron po kasi tayong tinatawag na robbery that committed in our Philippine waters. That will be considered a piracy or mutiny. In our brigandage, this one of the branch of robbery. Now we proceed. This is a theft. Pag sinabi naman natin theft, napag-aralan natin guys yung robbery, now we proceed to theft. Ano bang pinagkaiba ni robbery sa theft? Si robbery guys is a legally defined under 1930 of our revised penal code as a crime committed by any person who, with intent to gain but without violence against or intimidation of person, nor force upon things shall take personal property of another without the latter consent o the latter consent. Pag sa alaki po ng pinagkaiba, halos same sila pala. The motive is to gain a property from the another person or another ownership, but the element itself, pag lagi natin tatandaan guys, kapag titingin tayo ng batas, ang aaning kagad natin is the elements. Ang murder, sa murder, lagi sinasabi, ang mga ibang estudyante na ang murder is pagpatay. Ang homicide, hindi daw. No! Kapag sa murder, there always an intent. Bumababa lang po ang murder sa homicide kapag ang isang element ay hindi pasok doon sa murder. No? Pag bumaba ng homicide yan, ibig sabihin, merong elements na hindi pasok doon sa murder. One of the elements of murder is treachery. No? Yung pagpatay mo ng talikuran, paglason mo ng ng tao nang hindi niya nalalaman, that will be considered a murder. And also, like I said, kapag hindi pumasok sa murder, mapasok yun sa homicide. And that there is a law na elements yan, guys. Kailangan nating alamin yung elements before we proceed na ito ay isang murder or homicide. But in our case, guys, this theft. Theft and robbery. Isang pinagkaiba nila, guys. Si theft without violence. Si robbery with force or intimidation. Yan po ang pinagkaiba nila. Pag sinabing theft is the intentional taking of property not belongs to that person. Pagkuha ng property na hindi mo pag-aari, pag-aangkin mo to, guys. Is larceny similar to theft or robbery? Larceny is the taking property of another person for the purpose of depriving the person ownership. It requires 3 basic elements. Sa larceny, meron tayong elements. Number 1 elements is there must be taking. Number 2, there must be asportation. Pag sinabing asportation, guys, this is the desire o mithiin na makuha ang isang bagay sa ibang tao. There must be an intent to deprive the ownership. No, Benny, the term larceny has been used in other countries but not in the Philippines. The RFC considered theft as the legal term, however, seldom used by IOC. Sa ibang bansa po kasi, guys, ang theft, larceny ang tawag. Sa ating Pilipinas, in our Philippine setting, theft ang tawag natin dyan. So, hindi sila magkaparehas ni robbery. Ang similarity ni larceny is si theft. Kinds of theft, guys. Pag sinabi natin bag snatching, a kind of theft that involves snatching women's handbag, also known as chain or purse snatching. Pag sa bag snatching, napakadalas nito, guys, in terms of sa mataong lugar. No? Kaya kapag kayo, guys, gagala kayo sa mataong lugar like Quiapo, Tondo, make it sure na mga dala-dala nyo hindi ganong kamamahal o hindi ganong katako pansin sa mata ng tao. Because like I said, ang tao nabibiktima lang yan, guys, kapag ikaw mismo nagbibigay ng motibo para mabiktima ka. No? Maalala natin yung MIO natin, the motive, intent, opportunity. Ang isang tao nagkaroon ng motibo because ikaw mismo nagbigay ng motibo. Ang motibo na yon nagkaroon ng intensyon para makuha yung opportunity na tinatawag natin. No? Ang opportunity niya, manakaw yung bag mo. Kaya make it sure na be humble all the time that you yung mga Michelle kayo, no? Hindi naman kailangan sobra. Iangkop nyo sa lugar na pupuntahan nyo. Number 2, lab A is a rob and rob tactic is employed by snatcher. Diba? Mabilisan yan, guys. Pag kayo nakapulutan, mabilisan yan. Depende na lang sa iyo kung kakapulin nyo. Women is the most victim. They attack suddenly as the crowded places like shopping malls, residential areas, and market, etc. Ang kadalasang biktima nito, guys, ay mga kababaihan. Pero huwag din magkampante ang kalalakihan. Why? Because ang ating modern era, kung sino ang biktima nila ay hindi natin alam. That's very unpredictable. Pero kadalasan, guys, ang biktima ng ating mga theft ay kababaihan. Lalong-lalo na, guys, no, kapag kayo ay nasa jeep, madalas kayo mag-cellphone. Iwasan nyo yan, guys, lalong-lalo na kapag masyadong takaw tingin sa mata ng magnanakaw. Kasi hindi nyo alam, mabilisan yan. Nanakawan at nanakawan kayo niyan sa mabilisang paraan. Hindi naman lahat ng tao, guys. Nasabi ko lang sa inyo yung mga pwedeng mangyari. And you are criminology student, you know, you very lawak ng pag-iisip, guys, in terms of our subject matter. Kasi ang criminology, mabilis mag-isip kung anong pwedeng mangyari sa paligid niya. Diba? Shoplifting, a kind of theft that involves stealing goods that are on display in a store. Shoplifting guys, ito yung mga taong, for example, you do shopping, no? Nakakita ka ng mga taong imbis na diretso sa counter, diretso sa bulsa niya o diretso sa damit niya. That is very useful. Meron yan guys na may sakit kasing ganyan na shoplifting. Ang tao, magnanakaw siya, pero may pambayad naman siya. Pero, ewan ko, limutan ko sa dyan. Part of the human behavior ng isang tao. Kaya ang ginagawa niyan, kapag mayaman yung tao ng shoplifting, may kasama silang bodyguard, tapos ililista na lang, tapos babayaran sa cashier. Kasi meron mga ganyan taong shoplifting. But in our kinds of theft guys, ang shoplifting, this was involved in terms of our old era. Usong-uso yun noong panahon. Noong unang panahon talaga guys. Shoplifting. In our modern era guys, we have a CCTV na camera around the mall. No? Ang laking tulong in terms of providing evidence of guilt of a person in terms of shoplifting. Yan po ang laking tulong niyan guys pagdating sa pagresolba ng kaso. Main group of shoplifters. Opportunity thieves or petty shoplifters. Shoplifters who are not readily distinguishable from ordinary customer steal items for personal use. Yan, mga shoplifters natin na very hindi natin ma-identify kung sino minsan. Kasi minsan guys, grupo yan sila. Diba? Kapag yan, kunyari, si customer, ang gagawin niya, kakausapin niya yung nagbebenta. Pero ang mangyayari, ililigaw niya lang pala. Kumbaga, ano niya lang guys, yung time para ma-focus sa kanya sa yung nagbebenta. Pero yung isang kasama niya ang ginagawa ng shoplift na. Daming ganyan. More determined thieves usually operate alone and steal small quantities of goods to sell of them to support drug bites. Ang mga magnanakaw na to guys, hindi sila mapakali kapag hindi sila nakakagamit, di ba? Yan yung pag sinabi natin mga bisyo natin. Napakahirap guys kapag kayo may bisyo. No? Yan yung mga mahilig dyan magsugal. I'm not encouraging you na magsugal na guys. But also, warning to you. Pero nasa inyo naman. Kasi kayo pa rin at kayo pa rin ang makakatigil niya sa sarili. Group of organized thief or professional or organized retail theft steal large quantities of goods for resale. Dami na ito guys in terms of mall. Labas ng items. Grupo yan sila. Pupunta yan sa gagawin nila guys. Kukunin nila yung item dun sa isang not particularly mall but in a warehouse. Kukunin nila yan. Kasi ibebenta nila ng mura sa labas. Kapag kayo guys, tandaan nyo, iba't ibang klase rin kasi ng theft. Kapag ang theft, ginawa mo sa loob ng company itself, pwedeng ma-consider as qualified theft yan. Why? Because qualified theft is one of the highest penalty in terms of theft. Malaking penalty pag qualified theft. Because the confidence of the owner itself, yung confidence ng owner na hindi mo siya nanakawan, kaya ang qualified. Yan, one of the elements of the qualified theft. Kaya make it sure guys, kapag kayo nangangapuan o ikaw isang empleyado ng isang kumpanya, huwag mo nang gawin yan. Mabigat yan. Pilferage o employee theft versus shoplifting. A pilferage, a person liable are employees of the company or industry, while in shoplifting, the customer of the industry are the offender. Sa pilferage guys, ang liable mismo yung empleyado. No? For example, si employee, kada pasok niya, ang gagawin niya, mag-uwi siya ng isang buong bond paper. That will be considered a pilferage. Pa-isa-isa niyang kinukuha. Si shoplifting guys, not connected in employees or company, but he do a crime inside the company. Mga like mall, di ba? Ang shoplifting, yung nanakaw, yan. Pilferage, empleyado mismo to. Shoplifting, the customer ng isang mall or isang facility na nagnanakaw. Techniques of thieves, guys. Lifting. Picking up property while the owner is not looking. Napakauso na ito, guys, sa mga palengke, no? Pabili ng manok, and pagbigay sa kanya, pagkuha ng item, kuha ka agad ng isang manok, lalagay ulit. Yan, consider yan. Kaya napakaganda ng CCTV, guys, in terms of that matter. Thieving involves reaching into the victim purse, packing, or bag in which the victim is wearing and taking without the victim knowledge covered. Sa thieving, guys, yung mga lash-lash na for example, you have a bag, mahilig ka maglagay sa likod, hindi mo mapapansin yan, guys, covert niya. Pag sinabi natin covert, tago ang magnanakaw dyan. Lalas-lasin yan, hindi mo alam na ubus na pala yung laman ng bag mo. Also, in wallet, mahilig ka maglagay ng wallet sa likod, mabilisan yan, guys. Magagaling ang mga magnanakaw sa Pilipinas. Slashing, cutting the strap of the victim bags to gain easier access to the property. Halos magkapare sila ni thieving tsaka ni slashing, guys. Ni slashing, di ba kanina? Slash ng bag. Yan. Distraction, distracting the victim by engaging the accomplice a conversation with the victim so he or she would have less care to his or her surrounding. That's what distraction is, one of the example of opportunistic na tinatawag natin. Kanina diniscuss ko kanina, guys. Kakausapin ka, pero yung isang kasama niya, magnanakaw na pala. Tulong-tulong yan sila, guys. Snatching, overtly fooling the victim property and hastily leaving the scene. Mabilisan, snatching. Yung cellphone natin, guys. Kaya kayo, kapag gagamit kayo ng mga gadgets nyo o mga property nyo in terms of crowded area, make it sure na tingnan nyo yung paligid nyo. Not also, na tingnan nyo lang ang paligid nyo, maging alerto din kayo. Alerto sa sarili nyo. Mas maganda nga, guys, hindi na kayo gumamit ng cellphone sa mga public area. To avoid any kind of motive, opportunity, and intent ng isang magnanakaw. Malicious mischief. Ano naman pag sinabi nating malicious mischief, guys? Pag sinabi po nating malicious mischief, this is one who are liable of malicious mischief. Any person who shall deliberately cause the property of another any damage not falling without the terms of the next preceding chapter shall be guilty of malicious mischief. The elements, guys, is 1. Number 1 is that the offender is deliberately cause damage to the property of another. That such act does not constitute arson or other crimes involving destruction. That act of damaging another property be committed merely for the sake of damaging it. Sa sobrang inis mo sa kapitbahay mo, guys, nakaparada yung sasakyan niya sa harap ng bahay niyo, hindi ka na makalabas. Ang ginawa mo, binasag mo yung salamin ng sasakyan niya. That will be considered as a malicious mischief. Pero, guys, ang isang malicious mischief ay hindi mako-consider kung ikaw mismo sinunog mo yung isang property ng tao. Kasi papasok yan, guys, sa arson. Ang malicious mischief, guys, the ultimate gain is to damage the property of a person, or parang gusto mo lang mainis yung tao sa'yo. Yan ang karaniwang kaso ng malicious mischief. Yung bakod ng kapitbahay nyo, guys. Sa sobrang inis nyo, sinira nyo yung bakod ng kapitbahay nyo. Pwedeng kayong kasuhan dyan, malicious mischief. Arson or PD 1613. Arson is one of the hard things in terms of investigation, like always said to you. It is defined as the intentional burning or setting fire of property belong to another or own property under the circumstances which is exposed to danger the life of property of another. Intentional burning, guys. Napakaraming case in terms of arson. Yung mga previous mga present issue regarding the arson, no? Yan sa Zapote, yan sa Bacoor, grabe sunog, guys. Halos 1,000 pamilya ang nasunugan. 1,000 kabahayan pa lang nawala. Sabi sa balita, away na mag-asawa. Hindi pagkakaintindihan. Pero, ayoko lang ng gano'n. In my opinion, kasi may mga estudyante rin ako dyan. Kasi nga, guys, tatamaan din sila ng ano, yung tawag natin, the LRT o MRT extension. Tatamaan yung lugar nila. Yeah. Doon, mapapaisip ka na kaagad. Pero, like I said, that's my opinion. That's the opinion of my student regarding the issue that gained of attention of him. Napakahirap kasi yung guys, no? Tatamaan ka. Tandaan nyo guys, sa Pilipinas kasi, meron tayong tinatawag na eminent domain. Sa ibang bansa kasi guys, walang eminent domain na tinatawag. Kung ang bahay mo nakatayo sa gitna ng kalsada, kung ayaw mo ibenta sa gobyerno yan, walang magagawa ang gobyerno sa'yo. Pero dito sa ating Pilipinas guys, kapag ikaw mismo ayaw mo ibenta sa gobyerno ang property mo, the court will be having an issue as a subpoena or a written order that you need to evacuate the area. Yan po ang eminent domain ng Pilipinas. No? Pag-aari mo ang lupa mo, pero the time has come na kailangan ng gobyerno to. Wala kayong magagawa doon. Elements, the PNP 2011, actual burning took place. Number 1, syempre kailangan mayroong actual burning guys. Number 2 is actual burning is done with malicious intent. Nagawa ito with intent. Matinding intention guys. The actual burning is done by a person legally and criminally liable. All the criminal has been taken down or burning of a place will be liable in a criminal case guys. Always remember that. Level of offense for arson according to PNP or the Revised Criminal Investigation Manual 2011. Here are the level of offense for the crime of arson. Number 1 is attempted arson. Pag sinabi natin attempted arson guys, the suspect get a rag soaked in kerosene with the intent to burn the house of victim, his enemy. Then the suspect puts the rag in a combustible portion of the victim house. And when in the act of striking his match in order to burn the rag soaked with the kerosene, the suspect is arrested by policemen who happen to pass by. The suspect begins the commission of the felony directly by overt, lantarang paggawa ng krimen. Actual acts but does not fulfill all the acts of execution necessary to produce the felony by reason of the timely arrival of the policeman. Pero na siyang intent guys. But number 1 is the intent in terms of arson or pagsunog ng bahay na meron kang intention mismo. Malicious intent. Ba, matinding intention. But the reason why dito kaya nagkaroon ng attempted lang yung kaso niya because a policeman passed by. O, ang ating policeman is very proactive, no? Very patrolling in the area to avoid any kind of crime that will be committed of a person. Yan. Kaya nahinto yung tinatawag nating attempt niya sa pagsunog ng isang bagay. Yan ang consider natin as attempted arson. Number 2 is the frustrated arson. Pag sinabi nating frustrated action mga guys o mga sir ma'am, guys, is the suspect with the intent to burn put the rag soaked with the kerosene in the combustible part of the victim house. Pag sinabi natin combustible part guys, this is yung mga madaling masunog. Like kahoy. Karaniwan kapag yan, kahoy ang buhay mo, mabilis talaga masunog yun guys. Lights that rag and while in burning, the suspect runs away. Before the fire from the rag consume any part of the house, the victim discovered in it and extinguished the fire. Nasunog na guys, nagkaroon na ng sunog. Diba? A little portion of his house burned. But because of the sick intention of the victim o bibiktimin niya, nakita agad ng bibiktimin niya, napulak agad. Pero guys, meron ng sunog na nangyari. That will be considered as frustrated arson. Pero, the suspect had already performed all the acts. Yan guys, oh. of execution necessary to produce the felony. But the felony was not produced by reason of the timely arrival of the victim, which is a defendant of the suspect will. Nasunog na yung bahay o nagkaroon na ng little portion ng apoy na tinatawag natin, but because of the alertness of the victim, naapulan niya ito. That will be considered as a frustrated arson. Sa attempted arson, guys, wala pang sunog na nangyari doon. Kumbaga, gagawin niya pa lang, nandun na yung kerosene niya, yung combustible material na gagamitin niya in terms of fire. But the policeman arrived at the scene before happening the arson itself. Pag sinabi naman natin consummated arson, guys, the suspect with the intent to burn lights a rag soap with the kerosene in the combustible part of the victim's house. But before the fire was extinguished by the victim, it had already burned a small portion of the house. Wait lang. Medyo nagkalituan tayo dito. Okay, mali pala, guys. Dito sa sa all the tama ba? Tama. Yan, guys, dito sa consummated arson natin, already burned a small portion of the house. No? Nasunog mo na yung small portion of the house, guys. Consummated arson na yan. Ang tawag dyan, the suspects had already performed all the acts of execution necessary to produce the felony. The consummation of the crime does not depend upon the extent of the damage produced. Any charring of the wood or any structure whereby the fiber of the wood is destroyed is already sufficient. It is not necessary that the wood structure should be ablaze. Setting fire to the contents of the inside the building can constitute a consummated crime of arson, regardless if no part of the building was burned. Ito, guys, ay small portion. Pag nagkaroon ng small portion, nasunog na yung kahit kakaunti lang, guys, that will be considered as consummated arson. Medyo nagkalituan tayo dito sa frustrated. Wait. Yun, guys. Ito pala, sorry. Sa frustrated arson pala, guys, before the burning, bago pa magkaroon ng sunog, no, iniwan niya na yung kerosene niya, yung mga combustible material. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the may mistake. Iniwan niya na yung mga gamit niya, no? Nag-aapoy na yung niya, yung papel or materials na. Pero hindi pa, guys, hindi totally nasunog yung part ng bahay ng isang biktima because the victim is very alert. That will be considered a frustrated arson. Sa consummated arson, guys, ito, nagkamali ako dun sa frustrated natin, guys. Sa consummated arson natin, that small portion of a portion of the house or the business area, that will be considered as consummated arson. Mabigat na yun, guys, kapag consummated arson. Usurpation, pag sinabi natin usurpation, guys, is the occupation of the real property or usurpation of the real rights in property by means of violence or against or intimidation. Ang elements natin dyan, that the offender take possession or real property of the real rights of real property. The real property belongs to another. The taking is through violence or intimidation of a person. And the purpose is the taking with intent to gain. Karaniwan ang ginagawa nito, guys, sa usurpation natin is yung mga kadamay, no? Not particularly yung kadamay yan, guys. Kasi dito, kinukuha nila yung rights ng isang may-ari talaga o the real owner of the land o property itself. Yan. That will be considered as usurpation. Tandaan po natin, kung wala tayong right sa isang bagay, at nagreklamo yung tunay na may-ari niyan, wala po silang magagawa dyan. Because the court will be ordered the total total reclamation of the area or total demolition of the area. Kahit gaano kayo katagal sa isang lugar, guys, kung hindi nyo pagmamayari yung isang lugar, that will be considered as usurpation. No? O kaya ginamit nyo ang lupa niya dahil sa pananakot. Ngayon, natakot si real owner, kaya wala siya nagawa. But the time has come na lumaban siya sa inyo, that will be considered as usurpation. Taking out the property of another is a crime. Tandaan nyo. Pagkuha ng bagay na hindi nyo pag-aari, crime yan. Crimes against property or our investigation against property, guys, in our investigation, the collection basic facts established the rules of regulation have been committed and that the person is responsible thereof. Bumalik tayo sa basic, guys, dun sa investigation natin. Investigation is number 1 or page 1 of our learning materials. No? Isa-isayin pa rin natin. And the action investigation is something of some formal or systematic examination. To search for facts, especially those that are hidden, needs to be sorted out in a complex situation. The goal of the investigation is usually to determine how or why something happened. No? In terms of investigation process case, tandaan po natin yung 6 cardinal points natin. What, when, where, why, who, and how. That is our 6 cardinal points in terms of investigation. It's very important to know the basic rules in terms of investigation. Like I said, guys, kapag hindi natin yung rules, hindi natin alam yung rules or regulation in terms of investigation, sayang ang investigation natin. That will be responsible. Tayo pong responsable sa lahat ng gagawin natin in terms of investigation. Maaring mapabuti o mapasama. Pero like I said, mas magandang mapabuti kaysa mapasama. Kasi pag napasama ang investigation natin, that will be considered to you as a law enforcement officer. Nakakaya yun, guys. Kapag ikaw mismong law enforcement officer, hindi mo alam kung anong tamang proseso in terms of investigation. Kaya nga nandito tayo, guys, para pag-aralan yan. Pag-aralan mabuti kung ano yung tamang gagawin natin in terms of investigation. Yan, bumalik ulit tayo dito sa basic facts. Pag-aralan natin to, guys, dun sa basic natin. Ulit lang yan. Dito tayo sa robbery investigation, guys. What are the pieces of evidence needed to file a robbery case o the PNP 2011? Number 1, guys, is testimonial evidence. Affidavit of complainant and witnesses. Testimonial evidence that will be considered, guys, na yung mga complainant mo dapat mag-complain mismo dun sa robbery cases so that the investigation will be continued. Tandaan nyo, guys, kapag walang nagre-reklamo, walang investigation na magkaganap dyan. Documentary evidence, photograph, videos, sketch, police reports, and other documents. Documents is very important, no, in terms of the investigation proper. Object evidence, stolen items, weapon, and other devices, no, yung nakaw na sasakyan, nakaw na gamit, o kahit anong nakaw yan, basta makuha sa evidence, that will be considered or presented in our court presentation. Court presentation proper. Number, in other relevant documents. Lahat ng pwedeng makatulong o lahat ng ebidensya pwedeng makatulong in terms of investigation proper o investigation in court presentation, malaking tulong yun para mas mapabilis yung kaso na tinatawag natin. Investigation checklist for robbery, guys, is number 1 is find out as much as possible the crime before going the scene and upon arrival. Tandaan natin, guys, find out muna natin kung ano yung mga posibleng nangyari dun sa krimen bago tayo pumunta dun sa pinaka-crime scene mismo. Overview. Take your bearings at the scene so that you can get rough picture of the area and what happened. Ang mga investigador, guys, malawak ang pangunawa niyan. Malawak ang imagination niyan in terms of investigation proper. No? Alam ka agad nila o nagkakaroon kagad sila ng idea kung ano yung mga nangyari sa area. Parang si ano yan, guys, si one of the darang Detective Conan, di ba? Mabilis kagad mag-isip. Namutang pangalan ng isa na. Start keeping an action log, no? Always take a log or logbook. Kasi hindi naman lahat binigyan ng photogenic memory. Pero, much better kung may record ka. Cordon of the area, extend the existing cordon if necessary. The perpetrator's route to any from the crime scene may need to be cordoned off as well. Hanggat maaari, cordon the area to avoid any contamination of evidence. Make sure that the list is made of the people who entered the crime scene. Lahat po na papasok sa crime scene, make it sure na nakalista. para alam natin kung anong pwedeng mangyari in terms of follow-up investigation. Analysis starts. Post through and start planning. This is where the crime scene analysis start. Pag dito guys, may plano na siyang investigador kung ano yung gagawin niya in terms of crime scene investigation. And number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Note down your observation continuously. Is a good idea to use tape recorder. Hanggat maaari guys, no, meron kayong record. So maganda nga video recorder not only yung tape recorder, but also a video recorder. Kaya nga yung mga pulis natin meron ganyan, di ba? Pero mas maganda, meron din dito tape recorder. This is kung wala naman kayo video camera dito, take a general photograph the scene, film the scene with a video camera. Very practicable pa rin guys kapag meron kayong mga video. Search for any pieces of evidence, object, reference, sample, etc. outdoors. Yung different search of method natin guys. Strip method, double strip method, quadrant method, circle method, spike method, any kind of search method that will be uses in terms of crime scene investigation or investigation of the robbery. Take photograph continuously capture all the evidence before the collecting them. If possible, engage a photograph for specialized trace evidence photography. Meron kasi guys na mga photograph o magagaling na photographer in terms of investigation. Alam na alam po nila kung paano nila matitrace yung tinatawag nating evidence photograph. And that is an expert photograph. Kaya may subject tayong photography. If the robbery was video, film, or CCTV, view the video to see where evidence might be found. Kung meron kayo nakita guys in terms of robbery investigation na mga camera sa around the area, make it sure na i-secure nyo to guys. Kasi pag nasira yun, mahirap mag-imbestiga. Maggagawa ulit kayo sa simula. No? Kaya nga, ang laking tulong ng CCTV camera. Number 12, seize any video recording and films in still cameras. Yan. Like I said, seize. Pag sinabi natin seize, ano nyo na yan? Kunin nyo na lahat na pwedeng magamit dun sa robbery investigation. Draw a sketch, mark the places where the trace evidence and reference sample are collected. Draw a sketch guys, gawa, di ba, sa rough and finish sketch natin. Kapag nandun kayo mismo sa crime scene, that will be considered our without proportion or rough sketch. Kapag ito na ay gagamitin nyo sa court presentation, that will be considered as finish sketch. Write a continuous seizure report. Continuous ang paggawa ng report guys ha. Find out whether the proceed of the robbery included bait money. Kung tingnan nyo guys, ang mga robbery cases natin, kung gumamit sila ng mga money involved. Mga bait money guys yan natin. Parang, ba tawag dito? Bait, yung pagkuha dun sa isang ebidensya. Bait, yung ano yun guys. Ika natin, nakalimutan ko na naman. Check the crime scene before you leave it. Make sure that you have not forgetting anything important such as interrogation report, memos, equipment, etc. Bago kayo umalis sa isang crime scene o robbery investigation guys, dun sa crime scene mismo, ay make sure tapos yun na lahat. Kasi pag hindi nyo tapos yan guys, like I said in our previous discussion, you need a search warrant na to avoid any conflict of interest in the investigation proper. Kasi nga naman, tapos na kayo mag-imbestiga, babalik pa kayo dun. That will be considered as a violation in terms of investigation. Entry route. After a robbery, it is important to investigate how the offender got it. It is important to find the entry route, which is not necessarily a door. Look at the building from the outside and try to find out traces of break-in or other damage to doors or windows. Check the function of the lock and check whether there are any pick marks. Sa entry route guys, kailangan nating malaman na necessary in the door. Sabi nga dito ng PNP of 2011, the memorandum. Tingnan po natin kung saan sila nag-entry, saan sila pumasok, no? Because meron kayo tinatawag guys na insider in the force entry na tinatawag natin. Pag sinabi natin force entry upon things na tinatawag natin guys, pasok sa isang bahay na force, pagpuwersa. Sinabi natin inside, meron kasi tinatawag tayo guys na inside job, no? Pwedeng pumasok yan dun sa area na yun. And also, a point of entry or entry for robbery will be held in terms of investigation proper because the evidence that they need will be collected. At ang ebidensya na pwede nilang makuha dun sa investigation proper in terms of robbery, pwede nilang makuha. Ask the victim. Find out with the victim what has been stolen and where there are traces objects being moved by the perpetrator. That is the place to look for trace evidence. Trace evidence is the evidence that will be collected in terms of crime scene marking of evidence. Tanungin natin yung biktima, syempre. Ano bang nangyari? Ano bang ninakaw sa'yo? Sa tingin mo, meron bang motibo sa pagnanakaw sa'yo? Sa tingin mo, meron pang galit sa'yo yung tao na yun? Kailangan nating malaman yan, guys. So that we can do a proper investigation and we can have a lead in our investigation. Latent footwear prints. Paper on the floor is always interest since there may be latent footwear prints on it. Collect all paper and then look for footwear prints on the paper at your unit or send the papers to the crime laboratory for examination. There may also be a latent prints on desk pad, chairs, seats, etc. Latent print, guys, sa footwear, no? Ang mga sapatos na ginamit dun sa area. Kasi po yung malaking tulong din yan, guys. In terms of investigation proper. Nalagay sila ng isang papel. Diba? Yan, guys, sa paper. Yung ilalagay nila yan, guys. Tapos, parang papatong nilang ganun. Tapos, makikita na yung footprint ng isang tao. O footwear kung anong ginagawa. Sapat. Maganda, laking tulong kasi niyan, guys, in terms of investigation. Kung alam natin kung anong klaseng sapatos ang ginamit. Kasi kung, for example, in a construction business, no? Nagkaroon ng inside job. Nakita mo yung sapatos na ginamit na pang-construction. Malalaman mo agad na ito construction worker ang gumawa sa'yo. That will be considered an inside job because the company itself is a construction. Or in terms of investigation, din naman sa isang area o sa isang lugar, ang ginamit niya naman is kung ang isang gym nangyaring crime scene, ang sapatos na ginamit o nakita mong sapatos is the footwear that uses in a gymnasium. Magkakaroon ka agad ng idea na doon mismo nandun yung suspect. And also, not also in that matter, guys, in our desk pad o desktop chair, they will be uses a latent footwear prints. Parang papel yan, guys, na manipis lang. Wala kasi kayong dyan sa grande yung facility in terms of laboratory. Importante rin yan, guys. Sa fingerprint pangalan. Collection of evidence in connection with robberies. Yan. Ito, guys, ang pwede nating kunin in terms of collection of evidence. Hair, blood and saliva, material, feeds, clothes, fibres, weapons, bullets, and cases, and video film, still film. Ang blood and saliva, guys, is very important na makuha agad to. Why, guys? Kasi yan, guys, mabilis mawala yan. Lalo-lalo na pag umulan sa area. Wala kang makuha ang ebidensya. Sayang. Yan, tool marks, fingerprint, explosive, footwear. Yan, sa footwear. Ito yung papel, guys, oh. Papel yan. Yung ginamit dyan. Indoors and outdoors. Malalaman kasi, guys, kung nagkaroon ng inside job or kung galing sa labas talaga yung magnanakaw. Glass and paint and fibres. Brigandage investigation, like dito kanina, hindi discuss natin yung brigandage nga. Nandito na tayo sa investigation. Pag sinabi natin brigandage, guys, this is the crime that committed in highway or our Philippine highway. That is a robbery also. Article 306 or 307 of the RPC or our Revised Penal Code and Anti-Piracy and Anti-Highway Robbery Law of 1974. Ang tagal na ng batas na, guys. Criminalize the act of committing robbery on the highway or kidnapping person for the purpose of any extortion or to obtain ransom or for any other purpose to be attained by means of force and violence by more than 3 armed person or band of robbers. Karaniwan guys, ang gumagawa ng Dominguez Group. Alam niyo ba yung Dominguez Group guys? Dominguez Group is one of the famous group in terms of highway robbers. Hindi, karnaping kasi sila eh. Pero will be considered that as a highway robbery guys. Ayan, madalas nilang gawin yan. And also, pag sinabi nating ban guys, one or more 3 person committed the crime itself. Tapos tayo sa investigation. Elements of brigandage, according to PNP guys. The offender is committed by at least 4 arms men. Grupo yan sila guys pag sa brigandage. The perpetrator form a band for the purpose of committing any of the following. Robbery in the highway. Kidnapping for person of ransom. Attain any other purposes by means force of violence. This is the elements of our brigandage. Ginawa mo sa highway, ang reason mo ay mangidnap o magkaroon ng ransom in terms of that matter, and attain other purpose by means of force and violence. Siyempre, lagi may force and violence yan in terms of ransom. Also, in terms of robbery. There is a preconvenience or intended victim. Meron silang victim talaga guys. Karaniwan, ang biktima naman ng kidnap o ransom, mayayaman. Hindi naman bibiktima ng mahirap yan, no? Hirap na nga sila, tapos bibikti pa sila. Ano makuha nila doon, di ba? Siyempre, mayaman ang bibiktimin nila. Naalala nyo ba guys yung case of the Ping Lacson? Na sinasabi natin na one of the reason why the Mr. Senator Ping Lacson taas ang rango nyo, di ba? Kasi Mr. John Gokong Wei, yung daughter niya yung kinidnap guys. Tapos na-resolve ni Ping Lacson. Kidnap for ransom ang nangyari. What are the pieces of evidence needed to file a crime of brigandage? Number 1 guys, yung kanina din, paulit-ulit lang to guys. Ang sinabi ko sa inyo, theory of repetition. Pag paulit-ulit nating naririnig ang isang bagay, mas madali natin siyang maalala at mas madali pumasok sa isip natin. Testimonial evidence, affidavit of complainant and witnesses. Kailangan natin yan. Pag walang affidavit guys, sayang case natin. Documentary evidence, photograph, videos, and police reports and other documents. Object evidence, stolen items, weapon, and other devices. And other relevant evidence. Crimes against property guys, they almost have a, in terms of filing a crime, halos magkakapare sila guys ng needed information in terms of filing a criminal case to complain in a court proceeding. Sa theft investigation natin guys is the intentional taking of property that belongs to that person. Minsan guys dito sa theft natin, no, na nakawan ng cellphone ng isang tao, minsan ayaw na imbestigahan ng mga pulis natin. Why guys? Because ang nangyayari kasi niyan, gumawa ng investigation proper si police officer, gumawa siya ng proper procedure in terms of that matter. Sa uli, magkakapatawaran lang. So, ano nangyari dun? Yung sayang naman. Kaya, alam ko, mayroon silang ginagawang action regarding that matter. Na kung itutuloy o hindi itutuloy. Kasi yung, ang daming ginagawa ng mga police officer natin, dapat hindi nila gawin yan. Ang mangyari, kung ikaw mismo isang complainant, ipursyo mo na makulong yung tao para madala rin yan. Theft is committed by any person who with intent to gain but without violence. Diba? Sa robbery natin with violence, sa theft natin without violence. Against an intimidation of a person nor force upon thing shall take personal property of another without the latter consent. Or the RPC or the Vice Penal Code or Article 308. The elements guys, any personal property belongs to another. The first personal property is taken with the intent to gain, without a consent, and no employed violence or intimidation of a person force upon things. Ito, wala to sa atin. Ito ang meron sa theft, pero sa robbery wala. Violence or intimidation. When theft is consummated, when the offender was able to take possession of the thing. Kapag ikaw mismo guys, nakakuha ka ng bagay na hindi mo pag-aari, that will be considered a theft. Once the thief has possession already of the item, even if he did not yet dispose, that this theft is consummated. Kahit hindi mo pa na-dispose ang isang bagay guys, o nanakaw mo, as long na nanakaw mo siya guys, that will be considered as a theft. Consummated. Yan. Halos magkapareho sila guys. Naulit na naman, testimonial evidence, documentary evidence, object evidence, and other relevant evidence. Usurpation of investigation, the occupation of the real property or usurpation of the real rights property by means of violence against or intimidation of a person. Elements guys, the offender take possession of real property of the real rights. The real property belongs to another. Yan, taking intimidation in person. Alas pa ulit-ulit yung elements nila guys, no? The taking is with intent to gain. Pero tandaan natin guys, alamin talaga natin kung ano yung elements. Kasi kapag hindi natin alam yung elements, papasok sa ibang crime yun. Pag pumasok sa ibang crime yun, tapos ang kaso mo, ginawa mong kaso sa kanya, imbis na theft, ginawa mong robbery, naku, napataas yung kaso ng client mo. Or the complainant mo. O yung anong complaint. Ngayon, pag nangyari yung guys, na pinataas mo yung kaso niya, na hindi pasok doon sa elements na sinabi ng batas, pwede kayong balikan yan. What are the pieces of evidence needed to file a crime usurpation? Yan. Inulit na naman guys, is the testimonial, documentary evidence, object evidence, and other relevant evidence. I think dyan muna tayo guys sa page 101 sa usurpation of investigation.